Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Unoriginic. Now, I've been in two minds about making this video. It's been a real struggle for me, but at the core of it, it's an issue that bothers me really deeply. So we are going to just jump straight into it after this intro and find out what the problem is with OBE1Plays. Some people might cut me off and say that the problem is that he overhypes every single thing that he talks about.
The news this morning is lit. You know I'm about to hit you with that fire, bro. We have some dope Nintendo Switch news items for this video. I don't believe the news that just broke. We have some huge news.
Or that he never edits out any of the coughs in his videos.
And so, I posted alright, and the Nintendo Switch explosion. And so, continues.
All those really annoying overlays, those GIFs that he just has sprawled everywhere all over the screen at once. Some people might talk about the fact that he can't pronounce T when he says Nintendo Direct.
Nintendo Direct is coming. It's Nintendo Direct from two people posting direct dates. Stay tuned for a Nintendo Direct. We're gonna get a Nintendo Direct soon. This is our last Nintendo Direct. 2 Nintendo Directs this month. 2 Directs. Huge Direct.
Or the fact that, you know, every single one of his thumbnails looks like he's sucking a huge invisible cock. Personally, I don't have a problem with any of those things. I mean, that last point is a little bit tiring to see over and over again on my timeline, and makes me very hesitant to actually click on the video, but that's my personal preference. That's just me aside. So aside from that, I can't really fault him on those things. There are really, if I boil it down, there are 3 issues that I have with the conduct of OBE1Plays, and that's what we're going to talk about here today. This is probably a pretty good one to jump off the bat with. The first problem is his integrity with reporting the news. Now, for those of you who don't know, you're already, I know, 2 minutes deep into this video. So close. OBE1Plays is a YouTuber who follows specifically Nintendo news and a bit of other gaming in other places. He does Let's Plays and that sort of thing. I first discovered him in 2016 when before the Nintendo Switch was even called the Nintendo Switch. It was called the Nintendo NX. There were rumors flying all over the place, and I found him as a pretty good news source for getting all those rumors and putting them together and sort of filtering out the good from the bad and delivering some pretty decent news. So it was a good place for me to go and sort of find out what was happening and what we could expect power-wise, you know, what the console was going to be like. He was one of the first people to report that I saw that it was going to be a hybrid system and that sort of thing. So pretty decent, if not repetitive news. That was around the time when I subbed to him. Those were the golden days. But the thing to note is that a lot of this information that was floating around was very reputable and very accurate. There wasn't a lot of wild rumors. There were a couple maybe around the power of the system, but not too many wild rumors to take root on. And there was a lot of content for him to cover, and he was garnering a good following from that. Jump forward to today, where we already have the Nintendo Switch. News on the console is kind of winding down for exciting new things, aside from these consistently inconsistent rumors of a Nintendo Switch Pro, which OB1 seems to focus on solely. We'll talk about that a lot in this video, even though I know things have developed since I started writing the script and getting in front of this camera, but we'll still talk about this point because it's one of the things that has really bothered me with the way that he reports his news. So most of the rumors about the Nintendo Switch Pro that have been floating around over the past couple of months have been heavily speculated and leaks and that sort of thing. And also a small amount of it is based on analysts, you know, predictions of what they think Nintendo is going to do to keep making money. It's my personal opinion, and this is what I wrote in the script, so it's even before Nintendo had their press release earlier this week, but it's my opinion that these rumors are either totally made up just for clicks and views, or that the people who are leakers are actually in a production line working on what the next console is going to be, maybe 3 or 4 years down the line, and these are, you know, prototypes, hasn't gone into mass production, that sort of thing. It's heavy speculation on that. I don't feel too comfortable talking too much about it myself, because this is the point that I'm going to get to with OB1Plays and how he presents his news articles. So all of that's besides the point. The point is that we really don't know what's happening, and so with all of these stories coming out that people are saying it's going to have this kind of chip or this kind of architecture, that's all should be taken with a very big grain, like a rock of salt, one of those rock salt from Breath of the Wild Just chuck one of those in with all of those rumors. So it'd be very foolish for somebody with 60,000 subscribers that get regular news feeds and alerts from your channel to start a thumbnail with any, start a video with any of these thumbnails. Any of these would be totally inappropriate to put on there when you know that the news is not 100% confirmed. This is blatant clickbait, and that's where the issues with OBE1Plays integrity starts. Where it continues is opening a video like one of these that I've mentioned before and stating something like this.
Whoa, we have some dope Nintendo Switch news items for this video, but the first one I think is pretty big and pretty telling of some of the features that will be coming to the Nintendo Switch Pro. Street Fighter V Championship Edition is heading to the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch Pro GPU will be based on Volta architecture, not Tegra. So they're switching from Tegra. It seems to be some kind of custom architecture.
Admittedly, if you do watch his videos regularly when news breaks or when leaks first come out, there is a slightly measured approach where he'll say this is a rumor or this is a leak, but then he kind of lets the hype catch up with him and he forgets to mention that in subsequent videos. So if you're just a casual viewer, you come in every once in a while just to see what's new, and you see something like this thumbnail, or if you hear him talking like this.
Earlier this week, I reported on the breaking news about the Switch changing from Tegra to Volta architecture, but we've gotten the exact translation from that source, and so we have a little bit more detail to go over concerning that report, and we're going to talk about a Nintendo Direct. Alright, first,
then it makes it sound like you've missed a really big news announcement somewhere and you know, it's time to pawn your current Nintendo Switch or trade it in and get ready to buy the next iteration because Nintendo Switch is definitely happening, right? So it's just very irresponsible in my eyes to be putting that sort of stuff up without, some sort of context in the thumbnail. You're just clickbaiting to get the views, and when you get the views, you get paid. There's also the fact that he doesn't make a habit of sharing links to the articles or the sources where he gets his news from, which makes things a little bit confusing. I know there's this thing called Google, and you can apparently just type whatever you want in, and it will give you exactly what you're looking for. Totally accurate. It does confuse things a little bit if you're wanting to find that correct source, because there's so many different vendors and whatnot reporting on different news articles, and some of them aren't as reputable as others or don't put in the effort. And we don't know if OB1's using one of those. He'll sometimes mention the source, but oftentimes he'll just say it has been reported, blah blah blah, and he'll give a vague description of where you find it. And then oftentimes he'll report an article out of context or giving it the same spin of where he found it on GameRanks or whatever, and then you get this totally inaccurate, trail of news which doesn't really stack up with where the original source came from. So take, for example, recently there was a voice actor from Devil May Cry who was doing a podcast. He was talking for 2 or 3 hours straight to this presenter, and they were talking about various things, and he mentioned offhand about Dante being in Smash Bros.
But what did catch my attention is you like Super Smash Bros. Did you?
Oh yeah.
You've been playing Ultimate, or the newest one?
Yep.
So speaking of Smash, did you see that there's a good chance that Dante gets added in as one of the DLC characters?
This is like one of those things where I absolutely love Ruben and I love DMC. I would consider it a hack and slash, and I absolutely loved it when I started playing it.
Right.
And now that I actually have started playing it, because to be honest, I'd only heard of it and played it very minimally way back in the day in college.
And you're referring to DMC or are you talking about Smash?
DMC.
Oh, okay.
And then started playing DMC when I knew, that I was going to be part of it. But this is what kills me about it, is I'm a new character.
Right.
And so I'm not in the DMC lore enough to ever be considered for Super Smash, and that would be like the ultimate life goal. Are you kidding me? To be part of Marvel vs. Capcom or Super Smash Bros. Or both, huge. Which is what Dante is going to be. It's just like, come on. That's what I want.
I wouldn't say never though, because it's like Itsuno was saying.
it does sound like you could speculate that he's talking about if they were to do this, they would start with Dante and not my character, which is a shame because I'd love to see my character in Smash. He's not saying that it's definitely happening, and when this news broke, Obi-Wan was one of the first amongst it to jump out there and just say, look, next fight is going to be announced.
Devil May Cry voice actor has gone on record to say that a legendary Capcom character is coming to Super Smash Brothers. Breaking news. I was going to chill this morning after the BioShock announcement for the Switch. But more, this is officially announced. Nintendo's official Super Smash Bros. Twitter account has tweeted, join Super Smash Bros. Director Masahiro Sakurai on 1/16. Oh my goodness. My dude, Dante is coming to Smash, bro.
And then, how it turned out.
And Violet Fire Emblem just like, oh, come on, bro. Y'all could have done better than this. All right.
It's just one example of where he runs with an article or a rumor, buys into the hype, and it amounts to nothing. All of those clicks, all of those views, all of those videos he made that you watched avidly, getting ready for this news to break and believing that this is going to be it, that all amounted to nothing. In another example, there was an interview where Stephen Ogg was talking about the possibility of GTA 6 coming out in the next 2 years or so, which he's the voice actor, he's got nothing to do with development, he may have heard something, so it could be true, probably not true, but he took this quote and then another quote from one of the creators. But he took this quote and he took another quote from the head of Microsoft. I forget his name because this reporting on the news isn't my forte, but that the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X are going to have crossed over games for the first 2 years, so there'll be sort of like a toned down version for your Xbox One. Your Xbox Series X will have the same game but with higher resolution, better gameplay, whatever. And because of these two facts, he said, it's definitely going to be available on the PS4 and on the Xbox One. Therefore, it's definitely going to be on the Nintendo Switch Pro when that releases sometime this year, because that's what he was speculating was going to happen in all of his videos.
GTA 6 launching soon? And what this means to a Nintendo Switch Pro version of the game? 2 pieces of evidence point to GTA 6 about to happen. The current Switch that we currently have is just shy of the power of the OG Xbox One. If the Switch Pro, according to all rumors, will be a more powerful system, it's going to be at least, at minimum, this is probably worst case scenario, it's going to be on par with the Xbox Series S. There's going to be no porting problems. If the game is going to be playable on the Xbox Series S, that means it's going to be playable on the Nintendo Switch Pro.
Now, as much as I'd like to believe that I'd be able to play GTA 6, even GTA 5 on my Nintendo Switch would be fine. But taking these 2 arbitrary bits of information, very vague, out of context, because I haven't even read the original Stephen Ogg one to validate that, but the Xbox One seems kind of on the point. It's a very big conclusion to draw for your audience, just so that you can have that clickbait. And as the information is panned out, the Nintendo Switch Pro doesn't even seem to be happening this year. So one of these pieces of information is coming from a voice actor, and voice actors are not always correct.
Since Rockstar's pattern is to always provide additional content even after the game's launch, what would you guys think would be a great idea for DLC for RDR2?
No way, man. I'm not answering that question.
I'm not... To clarify,
no, someone's going to cut it, and then it'll be on YouTube, and then all of a sudden, DLC confirmed, Roger Clark said!
To clarify, I'm not asking what it is, I'm asking what you would like to see.
I know, and it'll be cut, and they'll put it on YouTube, and then it'll be, DLC confirmed, Roger Clark said!
There was also a further instance recently where EB Games in Canada accidentally tweeted that Street Fighter V Champions was coming to the Nintendo Switch and that pre-orders were now open for the Switch. Obi-Wan took this article up straight away. He posted a video very quickly, starting off with
Street Fighter V Championship Edition is heading to the Nintendo Switch. EB Games. This is a major gaming retailer for Canada. EB Games Canada has accidentally tweeted out the tweet.
OBE1 took up this article almost immediately. He posted a video as soon as he could. He was absolutely gushing about the game. He's clearly excited, which is great. But, you know, in all of his excitement, there was hardly even a word that this could be an error or a mistake. He just took it as news.
This begs me to ask Nintendo. Y'all need to announce this Nintendo Direct, bro. The fact that this got announced today, it's the 25th. Could we be getting a Nintendo Direct within the next week? Sometimes when retailers accidentally list a major game, I remember when the Overwatch leaks were coming out.
That a game is going to be releasing in like a month or a month and a half for the Nintendo Switch without any prior warning. And then instead of looking at that critically and saying this could be an error, he took this as confirmation that we're going to get a Nintendo Direct by the end of January, which today, while I'm recording this, February 1st, and still hasn't happened. Now I just want to say, just to make sure that there's going to be none of these comments down below, GTA 6 in 2021 or by 2021, Nintendo Switch Pro after 2020, Street Fighters V Champions on the Nintendo Switch. These are all things that could completely happen. Absolutely they could happen, but until we know that they're going to happen, it should be stated that it's a rumor and not given to you as news like what OBE1 has been doing. To call this stuff news, to say I've got some news for you, it's a blatant lie. Unless you're saying that the news is a leak, which hardly ever happens in his videos. OBE1 even had to go back on the Street Fighter rumor when EB corrected the issue, which was a pretty funny video to watch, to be honest.
Remember, we reported EB Games Canada announced Street Fighter V Championship Edition for the Nintendo Switch. Well, it looks like it might be a false alarm. They did later correct it on Twitter, saying that they posted it in error for the Nintendo Switch. They meant to highlight the PlayStation 4 version of the game. That's what they intended. And I was still like, they just damage controlling. It's going to be revealed at the Nintendo Direct. But then the director of the game, Yoshinoro, he came out on Twitter. He quoted their tweet and said, I had no idea we made a Street Fighter V game edition for the special edition for the Nintendo Switch. I didn't even know this was a thing. But in his tweet, he did leave a little room. Like, this isn't happening yet. He said something like, yet. And Nintendo fans, we run with anything, bro. Did he just say, yet? Confirmed. Street Fighter V announced at the next Nintendo Direct.
In his eagerness to break the news and to be that one going out there with the juicy news, like what he used to do back with the Nintendo Switch, now that there's not that great source of reputable evidence and that sort of irrefutable evidence and that sort of thing, it's just, you know, he has to rein it in a little bit and just be a little bit more measured with his responses. I'm a little bit disappointed that it took me so long to actually getting to record this video. I just wanted to make sure I had all my points nicely measured out. Just yesterday there was a roller coaster with OBE1 releasing 3 videos in the space of 14 hours. I just want you to take into account somebody who might not watch videos all day every day. You know, they might wait till the end of the day to watch them, and they're just getting push notifications of these following titles while they're at work, or, you know, they wake up to them first thing in the morning like I did, and they see these 3 titles of these videos, and just think what might go through their mind as they're absorbing these. Incredible Nintendo Switch news. Switch Pro is definitely happening. New Nintendo Switch console announced. And then, Nintendo confirms no Switch Pro in 2020.
No Switch Pro! All of the Switch Pro rumors have been for naught. All the leaks, it's not happening.
The titles are blatant clickbait. There's no actual information in them that you can take away and look at subjectively. You'd have to actually click on to see exactly what it is that he's talking about for most of these. Take, for instance, the new console. That's actually a limited edition Nintendo Switch for Animal Crossing coming out in March. So it's not a new console. It's just a special featured console with, you know, nice artwork. It looks quite pretty. But to go out of the way and calling it a new console when you've been talking about the Nintendo Switch Pro dropping for the last 3 months, you know what's going to happen. That video is going to blow up. It's scummy, man. And then halfway through that video, it actually switches to some very useful information about the launch date for Outer Worlds on the Nintendo Switch, which is something that I'd actually like to know about. So why wasn't that in the title anywhere? And that brings me to my second point, the issue that I have, number deuce, which is Obi-Wan's art. You know, it is a work of art that he manages to stretch all of his videos out over that sweet 10-minute mark so he can get extra ad rolls in the middle or play more ads on it. He does this a number of ways, by adding like capricious anecdotes in the middle of his news article about things that he likes or doesn't like, or things that have affected him personally.
I'm literally just coming back from Disney, gave the kids a bath, and we're recording. I'm about to beat Pokemon tonight, bro. Check out my gaming channel, OBE1Plays Gaming Championships. We're doing a playthrough of Pokemon. We're going to try to beat Pokemon today. But why did I talk about Pokemon? I have no idea. Oh, because Dragon Quest 11. I used to wreck dudes in Street Fighter, bro. I used to be a beast in Street Fighter 2, bro. On the Sega Genesis, this is one of the reasons why I played my Sega Genesis just as much as my Super Nintendo. Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. The gameplay on the Sega Genesis was better than the Super Nintendo version, and so I had this. It was Street Fighter 2 Turbo Championship Edition. They used to have all those subtitles, but bro.
The next trick that he uses is drawing out the delivery of his next news item line.
Next news item. Next news item.
So that he's speaking with the same kind of candor as Miranda's son's teacher from Sex and the City 2. You know, Brady's teacher, when she's announcing him as the winner of the science fair for his mouse maze.
Brady for his mouse maze.
You guys know what I'm talking about. You've all seen Sex and the City 2, right? The third trick that he uses is just hinging in totally unrelated news articles like what we spoke about in the beginning of this segment, with talking about the Outer Worlds while announcing a new Nintendo Switch. Just to pad that video out, because talking about an Animal Cross themed Nintendo Switch for 10 minutes would have been too boring. He had to have some other substance in there. He had it. I would have preferred seeing that in the title so I knew what I was getting into, and I actually would have watched the whole video for just that. I find that interesting. And yes, I'm going to mention this even though I sort of forgave him for it back in the intro of this video, but that is playing his full intro at the beginning of every video, including, you know, that's 31 seconds long. If you don't include that weird little teaser he puts in at the beginning of every video where he's building the hype up, 31 seconds of your life gone. Nothing delivered in there. You know why you're watching his channel. And if you're saying, oh, 31 seconds isn't that bad, it's not a very long amount of time. Well, hey, how about I play back the last 31 seconds of this video for you so you can see just how annoying it is to lose. We're going to just waste all that time. It's going to be gone. You're never going to get that back. And if you're saying, oh, 31 seconds isn't that bad, it's not a very long amount of time. Well, hey, how about I play back the last 31 seconds of this video for you so you can see just how annoying it is to lose. We're going to just waste all that time. It's going to be gone. You're never going to get that back. See, that was terrible. That was a ridiculous waste of your time and mine in editing. That wasn't even a full 31 seconds. That was like 15 seconds, which is the length of my full intro, which I even cut down on this video because that's too long. So now I'm getting all worked up. And finally, another tactic that he uses in his videos, and he only uses this for some of them.
Click that subscribe button. Stay up to date. All things Nintendo. Yeah, we got Mario dabbing in 2020. We're going back to 2016, boy. You're still watching this video? That means you like me. You really like me. I gotta hook you up. That's right. We're having monthly giveaways.
By the way, I've only noticed this every now and again, and it's for those videos that are going to fall shy of the 10-minute mark. He has a pre-recorded outro where he'll announce a competition that he has running for the month or whatever. I think at the moment it's like an eShop voucher, and then he just does a little bit of subscribe begging. Which brings me to my final point that I'm going to berate him for. This is the last issue I have with him, and that's the like begging that he has on every video.
Before we get started with this video and I hit you with that heat, you gotta click that thumbs up, man. Thumbs up right there. Alright, before we get started with this video, click that thumbs up because you know I'm about to hit you with that fire, bro. Before we get started with that heat, man, give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up the video right now. Let's get right to it. Before we get started with this video, you already know, give it a thumbs up. Click that like button, brah. But before I say it, like, I'm not saying anything until you click that like button.
It happens at the beginning of every video he has. Like this video before I do anything at all, demanding a like from us, just so that he can improve his analytics on YouTube. It's so scummy, and he hasn't even earned it at that point in the video. It's a sort of, I find this whole thing really ridiculous, you know. Personally, I've tried to pull back on asking for likes in videos. It's such a generic thing, and it's ingrained in all of us. It's ingrained in every YouTuber to say like and subscribe and click the bell button.
This video's great. I wish I could show my appreciation for this video. I wish I could respond to it somehow, or be notified in the future when this channel updates, because it's so great. But I don't think there's a way I can do any of those things. Fuck.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe!
Oh!
And it's just dumb, you know. People are going to like what they like, dislike what they don't like. Some people manage to do it in a respectable way. Spawnwave, for example, he's probably the best YouTuber for it, is that he actually says like the video if you found something useful, dislike it if you didn't, and he probably uses that data. He's the kind of guy that kind of goes deep and he finds out what people are enjoying and what they don't, and then he trims things out as he goes on. And then he can give people a show that they want, and he can give them all the information up front with what you're actually getting in for and what you're going to see, and then he doesn't have to drop in random news articles just to meet the 10-minute mark. I guess what I'm thinking at the end of the day, and this is completely my opinion, so you can disagree with me if you think that I'm wrong, but I think OBE1 is playing into the wrong genre here. He's moving more into being a news presenter. I mean, he's a good streamer. He records all of his videos live, obviously. That's why he doesn't edit out any of the dead air or the coughs when he makes a little blunder. He's good at coordinating all of the things on his screen, if that's what you're into. His live stream for Kobe Bryant to raise funds for his charity after he passed away, I think that was admirable. I think that was a nice thing to do, and I think he's an entertaining guy to watch. You know, he's funny when he's playing games, and he's good at playing games. That's where I think his talents are. I just don't think he has the aptitude or the integrity to be delivering news. When you hear things like this, when you're trying to get a news article or information about news.
For the next 2 years, every game that's coming to the Xbox Series X will also be playable on the Xbox S. The Xbox S. Bro, they're scaling, not the Xbox S, all Xbox One consoles. This article also says something interesting though, and I'm hoping this is wrong. With Nintendo often releasing revisions of its console, a release of another Nintendo Switch model is more than like, oh, I thought they were talking about the date. Okay, all right, never mind. But
that's not good enough, you know? And I'm not saying don't keep trying. I'm just saying do better or don't do it at all. Now that's just one guy's opinion, my opinion. I'm unoriginic. If you disagree with me, that's fine. You can disagree with me. If you like what I said, then what you do is you just get your mouse, go up to the top of the screen and click on that little X in the top right hand corner, because the video's over now. Okay, bye.